Welcome to episode 32 of Music is None of Our Business. We really should have a tagline, shouldn't we? Like, you know, the podcast that reaches parts of the podcast can't reach. Like a slippery podcast enema or something along those lines.
Was that something you just spontaneously thought we need?
I did spontaneously come up with that. Yeah, I don't know why it involved an enema. But.
It's an insight into the dark recesses of your mind, I think. But we can think about that, certainly. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, that would be cool. We could make a big poster or something along the lines of like Alien, you know, in space, no one can hear you scream or something. We could like just paint you green.
Well, I'm quite green anyway.
Green with envy at my sense of humour. No
Absolutely,
doubt.
You caught me. Oh dear. Moving on then. So episode 32.
Yes, episode 32, and we've decided, fucking foolhardily. How the fuck? I wish I'd not said foolhardy now. Foolhardy.
You still can't get it, can you?
Whatever. Yeah, stupidly, we've decided to pick eponymous albums, self-titled albums, and fuck me, I struggled with this.
Why did you struggle?
I don't know why. I just kept coming up blank. I've been through lists of records and I just kept coming up with like really obvious ones, I think.
Okay.
Some of which are, you know, I mean, I don't mind doing obvious. I like to kind of do something a bit less, you know, well, obvious. But I'd like to, yeah. I mean, I've got a couple from the '60s. I've got one. I've got a cut because I've got 6 at the moment.
Okay.
So I need to get rid of one. I'm not quite sure which one yet.
So you weren't struggling with a lack of options that you could think of then?
Well, it was. I found it very difficult to think of.
Okay.
Yeah. I like. I mean, I was thinking next week do songs with boys' names in, and then the week after do songs with girls' names in.
We'll have stab at that.
That's easy. But self-titled albums, I just found it really tricky. I really did.
Okay.
I mean, you obviously didn't,
No, I didn't.
because you've got something really fucking obscure and you've got at least one track that's over 20 minutes long, no doubt.
I don't know. Possibly.
Full-heartedly. I can't believe I tried full. Oh, God, I'm going to have to look up in a dictionary later. Oh, I think I'll just spat as well.
Oh, charming.
So, yeah. Mid-giggle, I was trying to giggle, drink coffee at the same time.
I'm glad
anyway.
I was looking away at the time because I'm still scarred by your flapping tongue with your guitar solos from last session. No, don't do it again. Be back in therapy.
Yeah. I mean, I've got a good one to start, actually.
Good.
I mean, kind of an obvious one, but good reason to do this particular one.
Are you going to go first then? Do you want to go?
Yeah, I'll go. Let me go first.
On,
I'll go first because my first one was actually. I mean, we're recording this on the 23rd of April, 2026, and this album was released on April the 23rd, 1976, and is 50 years old today.
It's not Ramones, is it?
It is Ramones, yes.
It is Ramones.
It is
Ramones,
right. Yeah. Probably one of the most influential albums ever, I would say.
Going to be
definitely in my life.
Yeah.
You know, because I adore the Ramones. I to this day. I know we've spoken about them before, but I mean, there's so much to talk about with the Ramones. I don't really think we need to go over. We'll go over. Other than it was Johnny, Joey, Dee Dee and Tommy, you know, as everybody knows from the countless millions of Ramones T-shirts. It's like that. It's like a cultural phenomenon. It's like in the 70s when you used to have a picture of the tennis girl scratching her arse on the wall, you know, and no one played fucking tennis. You know, it's just like, you know, you've got the Ramones on your T-shirt, but you've never listened to a Ramones song. Other than you probably heard "Baby I Love You."
Yeah, that would be the one.
Point.
That would be the one. I had a T-shirt with a girl scratching her ass on it rather than I didn't. What an album, though! Yeah.
Totally. I mean, one of the greatest. In all honesty, possibly not my favourite Ramones album.
That's a tough one.
Yeah, well, exactly. I mean, if push came to shove, I'd probably go for Rocket to Russia.
Yeah, I can see that.
You know, and then I might even put Leave Home before the first album.
Yeah, I'd put Leave Home before Rocket to Russia, but it's a very close thing because they're such good albums.
I love, well, I mean, all three are kind of interchangeable depending on your mood.
Too Tough to Die as well. That's a great album.
Yeah. I always had a soft spot for Subterranean Jungle.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I thought that was good because, I mean, anything with a song that's called Every Time I Eat Vegetables, It Makes Me Think of You has got to be up there, hasn't it, really?
And the thing up there as well, you'd have to have It's Alive because it's such a blistering document of everything they did.
Oh, yeah. The greatest live album ever made.
Could be, yeah.
Bar none. Yeah. I will die on that. I will die on that hill. I can't think of a better.
You're being all foolhardy again.
I think the thing with It's Alive is the fact that it encompasses everything that's brilliant about the Ramones. You know, and they were. I mean, despite the fact that through bloody disasters and whatever, I never got to see them live. I think live was where they excelled. Mm-hmm. You know, and they used to get. You know, there used to be. People moan because they'd only do like 40-minute sets and that. And it's like, yeah, but they'd probably do 30 fucking songs. You know, you knew exactly what you're getting. 1, 2, 3, 4, song. 1, 2, 3, 4, hey, we're the Ramones. 1, 2, 3, 4, song.
Yeah. Which worked fantastically. But I think also that on the other side of that coin, there's a slight disappointment that you had no dialogue with the band at all. It's all, here's the music, 1, 2, 3, 4. You listen, you dance, you go mad, then we're off. And it would have been nice, I think, on occasion, just once or twice, to have a bit of a kind of dialogue. But
I don't know really. I don't think I would disagree because I think it would detract from the show. I mean, because you had this persona of the Ramones had this persona, this dumb persona, you know, even though they weren't. So when they went on to stage, they were in character. So, you know, going, hey, we're the Ramones, this one's got Black and White Beach, 1, 2, 3, 4, is perfect. You know, I don't want to go, oh, yeah, we're the Ramones, yeah. Well, we've just been wandering around your town and I did some fucking shopping. That Tesco Direct is superb.
That wasn't quite what
I had a sandwich in there.
What I had in mind.
I know it wasn't. I know. But I think song title, you know, little bit of I had a chicken vindaloo. 1, 2, 3, 4. You know, they were playing a role. They were coming on, and they were, you know, they were the characters. I saw. I went to see Mitski with my just kind of about it being in character. And she comes on. She came on to the stage. And she's a definite character. It's very dramatic. She's in character, you know. She actually plays with that by coming out of character and going, hi, I'm Mitski, right. And then goes back into character and gets a laugh, but kind of, you know, but did it perfectly.
Yeah, I don't think that would have worked with the Ramones.
No, but I think with the Ramones, it's perfect.
They could have stayed in character and still just once or twice in the evening just had a few words in character even. And maybe if they'd actually done that, I would have gone, oh, that was a bit shit. Because it was fantastic just blistering through 1, 2, 3, 4. But you didn't really know anything. You didn't get to know anything of them as characters, which is I
don't think you needed to. I mean, everything is there. I mean, I'm looking at the front cover of the first Ramones LP.
All standing against the wall.
And everything you need to know about the Ramones is in that picture. Why do I want to know what Joey's favourite flavour ice cream is? You know, why do I mean, they're there. They've leather jackets. They've got ripped jeans, white tennis shoes. They look hard. You know, the back cover is that American Eagle belt, isn't it?
Yeah. Look, I'm not fucking saying they should do an interview on fucking stage.
No, I know what you're saying.
You don't. But we will never know because it will never happen. And
yes,
there you go.
Because they're all dead.
Yeah.
it's really sad that they're all, you know, I mean, because the other thing is, like, for years and years and years, you know, we knew who the Ramones were, but no one else fucking did. You know, they never were anywhere. They never made anywhere near as much money as they should have done for being probably the most influential punk band ever.
I would have thought they made almost nothing throughout most of their career.
Yeah, I don't think they did. I think there's more financial reward to being a Ramone now than there ever was, and unfortunately, as I said, they've all passed on.
Yeah.
So it's really sad that it would have been nice. I think they realised how appreciated they were at the. I mean, the final gig when everyone in the world wanted to be on stage with them. You had Lemmy, you had Eddie Vedder, you had Rancid. You know, people were queuing up to play with the Ramones by that time.
They never got inducted into the Hall of Fame, did they?
Not while they were alive. No, I think they have been. Have they? I'm not sure.
There's something
actually
at the back of my mind that seems to say yes. I think there was some acknowledgement for the contribution that they made.
Yeah, I think there was, but I think it was too late again.
Yeah, posthumous.
You know, it's like anything. You know, no one appreciates it until you haven't got it there anymore.
And the sad thing is,
and I mean, towards.
So you go. I was just going to say the sad thing is you say that they're more valuable now. It is disheartening, I think, when terrific music ends up on commercials or just on the soundtrack of a crap comedy movie or something, because I think it debases it to some extent. And Blitzkrieg Bop in particular, that's been used a lot, even on that bloody AO advert. You know that really pisses me off.
But great thinking.
Oh, it's clever. I mean, it's clever.
Let's go.
Clever.
I mean, fucking hell, come on.
And I'm sure the estate of the Ramones, their families get something out of it, whatever. But
I would imagine they're minted.
Yeah, it's clever.
You know,
I don't like it.
It's
there was even an advert with "Song to the Siren" on it. The Mortal Kombat version. I thought that was a travesty. I can't remember what the advert was for now, but I thought
I do know what you. I can't remember what it was either, but it does ring a bell. But yeah, I mean, it is one of the greatest LPs ever made. I mean, you know, you look at the songs on there. Blitzkrieg Bop. I mean, everybody knows Blitzkrieg Bop now. You know, I mean, now I want to sniff some glue. Fucking hell, what a song.
It's like Beat on the Brat. That was a good one, I look.
Yeah, Beat on the Brat, Judy's a Punk, I Want to Be Your Boyfriend. And this was the thing, they were so simple, but and very few lyrics in there, but which meant you could learn it and sing it, you know? So everybody, I know the words to almost, well, I mean, I can basically sit down and sing the whole of It's Alive, and I can even remember the bits in between the songs when they do talk. I can do the whole... Yeah. You know, hey, with the Ramones, this one's called Rock Away, Bitch. You know, and it's just superb. Just one of the greatest bands. My girls used to love them. I mean, they don't anymore. They pretend they don't. I think secretly they still like them. Yeah. And Rockaway Beach was just one of those songs. I mean, although that's off the third album. You know, it's just such a brilliant album. And I was just looking at people who've covered them. You know, you've got like, I mean, Metallica covered 53rd and 3rd. U2 covered Beat on the Brat. These were for for a tribute album. Red Hot Chili Peppers. You know, so their influence is massive. I mean, Husker Du covered Sheena as a Punk Rocker. Yeah. Green Day regularly cover the Ramones.
That massive punk phenomena, the Frantics, did KKK Took My Baby Away and Blitzkrieg Bop in their set.
There you go. KKK Took My Baby Away. I mean, and this was the other beautiful thing. The lyrics, the song titles, you know, unforgettable. I can remember Annie, when Annie was really small, wandering through Tesco singing the KKK took my baby away. I've never been so proud of a child in my life. It was just like, oh my God, she's singing the Ramones.
It goes to show how straightforward it was to not only understand the lyrics because they weren't drowned out in a noise. You could hear what was happening, but you could learn it all in listening to the song twice, because there was just not that much lyrical content. But it was great what they did.
Absolutely. I can remember. In fact, I can remember one of your bands in March after our first band after Cataleptic Fate.
Right.
You were rehearsing, Nick Palmer and you and I think probably Pinky rehearsing down at the a building down near the railway station in March.
Oh, the Fitness Factory.
Yeah, possibly. And whoever was singing didn't turn up, so you were practicing. I'd gone down to see you, and I ended up singing loads of Ramones songs.
I remember that now.
Yeah, we did a whole Ramones set with me singing.
Well, we briefly had a band called Surf Dogs, which only played Ramones covers. I'd forgotten all about that.
Right. Perhaps that was it. Yeah. So whoever was singing at the time hadn't turned up. So I took the mic and sang the Ramones songs. That. Had a great time. I've never forgotten that.
That was good. Yeah.
Yeah, that must have been early 80s.
Yeah, it would have been sometime 83, 84, something like that. No, 84, 85 perhaps. Yeah. Yeah.
So I mean, I could talk about the Ramones. I could do a whole episode talking about the Ramones. Yeah, I know. I'm aware of that. So I'm going to conclude with possibly one of the greatest albums, definitely one of the greatest bands of all time. And that's my first eponymous album is Ramones.
Well, I can't argue with your summation of the Ramones because terrific they were. And they live on despite the fact they've died. Okay, my first one then kind of follows on a theme that you triggered off from last week because you talked about squirrel bait. And you mentioned Black Light Poster Child, and I'd heard of squirrel bait, but I don't know their music or whatever. But
did you listen to it?
I haven't. I've had a hectic week, which I won't go into for many reasons. But I've hardly stopped all fucking week. It's been a nightmare. But when you also went on to say about how when Squirrel Bait collapsed, they formed a number of other bands, one of which was Slint. And Brian McMahon and Britt Walford went off to form Slint. And I was never a big fan of Slint, but Slint was formed out of the ashes not only of Squirrel Bait, but of another band called Morris, rather dreadfully named Morris. And the co-founders of...
Was it music you could dance to, or... Just checking.
I think they were an American hardcore band, but I don't know anything about them other than the fact.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to jog around with your fucking bells jangling to that, then, would you?
You'd come out well bruised. So the co-founders of Slint also included members of Morris, and one of the members of Morris was a guitarist by the name of David Pageau, Pajo. And he went on after Slint split up to play with Tortoise, Palace Music, Royal Trucks, Gang of Four. Even I think touched on Stereo Lab. But the reason he's on the list is because of his solo career, because he's got quite an extensive catalogue as a solo artist. And his first album, his debut album, was simply called Pageau, as in his name. 2005.
Okay.
So what you get with David Pageau, and I'm not sure if that's pronounced exactly right, but what you get with him is a very left field take on... music Americana, really. Essentially, all of his records, or most of his records, are crafted around his voice, which is often unadulterated or not heavily processed, and guitar. And the guitar is sometimes straightforward acoustic, but sometimes it's either acoustic or an electric guitar, which has been quite dramatically processed. So you get this quite left field Americana folky music, and it works really, really well. He's also recorded under the names Papa M and Ariel M, and also Just M, although hasten to add, nothing to do with Robin Scott of pop music fame, with his band M, which...
Talk about
pop music. That's a great record, but nothing to do with David Pageau.
Record.
So David Peugeot, he can truly call himself a multi-instrumentalist. I think he plays pretty much everything on all of his albums. And on the album Whatever Mortal, which is another great record, he plays acoustic guitars, electric guitars, piano, melodica, bass guitar, drums, keyboards, banjo, sitar, car keys, dog tags, harmonica, wooden flooring, percussion, as well as doing all the vocals and backing vocals. Read that.
Excellent. Busy chap.
I first heard of him, first came across him when in 1999 he released an album called Live from a Shark Cage. And I'd read a review, never heard of him before, and I quite like sharks, which is why it probably caught my eye in the first place. But the description sounded really interesting. And indeed it is, because much as I like all the records I've got by David Peugeot, Live from a Shark Cage remains my favourite. It's an instrumental. No, it isn't an instrumental. It's largely instrumental, but very, very heavily affected. Very, very nice indeed. But this first album, like all of his albums, it's got real feeling built into it. It doesn't feel fake at all. The emotion and the integrity in his voice and his playing really does sound heartfelt. And on this album, there's a bit of electronics, a bit of percussion, but it's largely guitar and voice. If you take his voice, as I said, it's not often heavily processed, but sometimes it's double tracked. So there's a track on there called High Lonesome Moan, and it's double tracked alongside just a picked acoustic with an electronic rhythm swirling around murkily. And it's really, really nice. Still not hyper experimental, but it's really nice. So he's got this very earnest sounding voice. He's kind of half whispers a lot of the time. He doesn't project his voice, and he doesn't really feel he needs to, I don't think, but it gives it a sense of intimacy, if you like. It feels like he's just singing to you. On this album, like a lot of them, there's a lot of quite sad songs, but my favourite track is one of the rare upbeat tracks, and it's called Baby Please Come Home. And it's a great upbeat little tune, and it jaunts along, but it's terribly sad lyrically because he sings of his girl not wanting him and his belated realisation of that fact. He talks of her leaving when he needed her the most and how he still misses her, and as the title says, he just wants her to please come home. It's quite sad really, but he's very prolific, does all kinds of stuff.
I'm in tears already.
And you should hear it.
Wiping one away.
And I said much of his music has this kind of sadness. Sadly, on top of that, in 2015, Peugeot attempted suicide. He was rescued by the emergency services, and thankfully he's still alive today, despite being hit by a car the following year, knocked off his motorbike and needing 6 weeks in hospital and 12 surgeries and 3 blood transfusions. So, you know, the tortured souls and drama-splattered lives of musicians. But it's a great record. It's a great debut, and I think it really kind of lays out a stall for a solo career that is fascinating. And I think when it comes to the playlist, we'll put that track on, but I'll perhaps put one or other tracks from his other albums on as well, because they are really good.
Yeah, I think I've owned one of his albums, although I've heard lots. I had an album called by a Papa M album called Whole of Burning Arms.
Okay, yeah, I like it.
Which was really good. I did like it. I remember really liking it, and I'll be honest, I've no idea where it is. I think it probably went when I got rid of a load of CDs. Okay. So I probably just kind of flogged them all Music Magpie or something, you know, fit of pique or so. I know. But probably wish I hadn't. But yes, I remember it being a really good album. Really liked it. I think he did something on. I think he released something on Static Caravan Records. I think that's why that's why I got listening to it. I used to like Static Caravan was a label from Birmingham several years ago now, and released some really interesting stuff. And I got a feeling that there was something on there that David Peugeot had been involved in. And then I got that LP, which is really good. I really enjoyed it. Good.
Well, hopefully we'll get some on the playlist and other people can enjoy too.
Yes.
But there we are.
Right. So number 2 for me now that I've just lost the page with my notes on because I'm so fucking professional. So number 2 for me is probably It's weird because I find I was just looking through my list, and all bar one, these are records that, you know, will probably just be starting points for us to talk about the band, because they're quite famous bands, which is and for instance, my number 2 is the Smiths.
Oh, right.
By the Smiths. And I think this was the trouble. This was the trouble I had, is that when we went for this kind of eponymous albums, all I could think about were classic albums.
Yeah.
And I couldn't get past them, bar one at the end. These are all like, I just went, oh God. And then I couldn't get past these fucking LPs because they were so, they were so
monumental.
Monumental,
I suppose ordinarily the eponymous record is going to be a debut record, and I guess for a lot of bands the debut record was the blast into the public consciousness, and possibly people look at it as their best, their greatest, irrespective of what happens.
Possibly,
in the career.
Yeah. And for some reason there are a lot of self-titled albums that are classics.
Yeah.
I mean, I could have picked,
Okay.
I haven't, I could have picked The Clash. I could have picked Damn, Damn, Damn.
Yeah, I did think about that, and I thought that's said it 3 times, that's cheating.
Well, I don't know, because my last one is kind of eponymous.
Okay.
But does have a tiny bit in front of it. But it is mainly eponymous,
Okay.
There were several. There were loads, but they just will all seem to be classics. And this is another one, the Smiths, the first Smiths album. Released in 1984 on Rough Trade.
That was that late.
It was, yeah. And I can remember buying it. I had it on cassette. I had the original the first time I bought it when it came out. I bought it on cassette for some fucking stupid reason. I don't know why. I would do that. I would randomly buy albums on cassette. I had my first copy of Heaven Up Here by Echo and the Bunnymen was on cassette. And I don't know whether I'd just got a cassette player. I remember I had that great big Ghetto Blaster cassette player. I had one of those because we took it over the park once and played Discharge on it really loudly.
But we all had those Ghetto Blasters, and I think, the portability of cassettes, the fact that you could take them somewhere to a party without worrying about them getting damaged or scratched. And although it was a bit early in our lives for us to be in cars, all the cars had cassette players, not CD players. And
totally.
So,
yeah.
So sometimes it made sense.
So I had this on, irrespective of what you think of Morrissey now, i.e. he's a twat, this album is absolutely brilliant. There's no getting away from it. I mean, it's just, I'm looking at the track listing. I mean, from the very first song, Reel Around the Fountain, his lyrics were amazing, and I think this is a time when I still didn't really appreciate literary lyrics as much as I liked.
Good old sweary
I
shell.
like punk and I like Sam. I got Nick 10 at West Ham. Shit like that. But when you listen to his really, I mean, they're relatively simple lyrics, but they pack a wallop.
Yeah.
And I mean, especially Stuff for Little Children. I mean, fucking hell.
Yeah.
I mean, that's absolutely amazing. Hand in glove. What difference does it make?
It's a great song.
It makes none, but now you have gone. I mean, oh my goodness me.
He comes at subjects from an angle that very few, if anybody, were at that time.
Yeah.
So it was quite clever.
It's all quite obtuse, really, but I mean, and of course you had This Charming Man, which is just a fabulous single, fabulous. We used to have like one of those PlayStation microphone games.
Okay.
And there was and you sang along to the to the song.
Okay.
And it measured your vocals against it. I mean, I can't sing for shit, as everybody who listens to this podcast knows. But I would do, I won't go out tonight, but I haven't got a stitch to wear.
Are you wearing the Smiths t-shirt?
No, it's a
Smile
right, okay. T-shirt, yeah. The lyrics are amazing. I mean, I used to listen to them and think, I kind of know what you're talking about, but it's everything. Like you said, it's all going at everything from a completely different angle, and it was just so. It was so far ahead of the game at that time.
It was. I mean, there was nobody talking about blokes being conscious of what they were going out dressed like. That wasn't a thing that was being sung about. It wasn't a thing that blokes would talk about, really. So to be overtly about that at the outset was quite peculiar. And to have lots of flowers sticking out of your pocket and a big floppy shirt and big
very
floppy
good.
hair.
Yeah, I didn't quite go that far. But I still wear the same types of clothing now as I did when I was 18.
All the actual clothing,
jeans,
let's face it.
Jeans, t-shirt, trainers. Yeah. It hasn't. It's barely changed. I had a bit of a Jesus and Mary chain thing where it was more all black and I had some creeper shoes. Yeah. But other than that, it's pretty much been, Doc Martens to start with and, trainers, jeans, t-shirts forever. Yeah. So, talking about, I would go out tonight, but I haven't got a stitch to wear. And it's like, that's bollocks. I've got about 100 fucking band t-shirts,
But you didn't
I might have holes in the cover. I might have holes in my socks, but...
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, an interesting band.
Yeah, very interesting, and got better. Yeah. Got better. I mean, although this is a fantastic album. I mean, even the they did the record of the with all the Peel sessions, didn't they?
That was all the Peel sessions.
Yeah, they had a second. They had a second LP come out, and it was a compilation.
Oh, right, okay.
And it was can't remember. No, can't remember. But it came out, and there was the Smiths, Meters Murder, the Queen's Dead, Strange Ways. That was their 4 LPs, and then there was a compilation album that came out. That was their second album. But the point being that even their throwaway sessions and B-sides were as good as most bands' main LPs.
The Queen is Dead was my favourite. That's the only one.
The Queen is Dead is fantastic. Yeah, I would say I'm not. I've got to admit I've never really listened to Strange Ways Here We Come that much.
Nor me.
I've listened to the other 3 a lot more. Meet Is Murder I really liked. I played that a lot when it came out, and the Queen is Dead. But Strange Ways, for some reason, I don't really know why I never got into it. I think I'd gone past, the Smiths had gone past their sell-by date for me at that time. I was perfectly happy with the 3 preceding LPs, and I wasn't really bothered after that. I think that was more than enough. But it is unfortunate, what's happened with Morrissey since. I don't know really. It's just annoying. Hat full of Hollow. That was the album I was trying to think of. Yeah, and that was all just sessions and B-sides, but they were brilliant. But that first LP when that came out, I can remember that the BBC had a recording. They'd done a live one of those Rock Goes to College things. And they'd recorded the Smiths live, and that was flipping heck. That was good.
Okay.
That was absolutely. I think that's probably around on YouTube somewhere.
On the Tube, weren't they? And they were. I think they were.
They were on the Tube. Yes.
Whatever you didn't get as well.
I think they were on everything. I think everyone had wanted the Smiths on, and I think there's a lot of footage out there. Which is really cool because it is annoying that when there are certain bands who you think they were great. There's no footage of them. I mean, we were talking about Joseph K last week or the week before. There's very little footage of them around in their heyday. And again with another band was one of my favourite bands, the Flatmates.
No way.
There's one tiny 3-minute live video of them of that original lineup on YouTube. That's it.
Okay.
And it's like, well, where's the rest of that fucking tape?
Sitting in someone's attic.
Why can't? it's just it's really annoying. But yeah, so the Smiths, great band, a great album, one of the greatest debut albums of all time.
Yeah, it's funny. I would never really have thought of myself as a big Smiths fan, but when you hear the Smiths, it is good music. Well done.
Yeah, it was. I mean, at the time, it was quite surprising the kind of fan base they had. I mean, because it ranged. I mean, everybody liked the Smiths. Well, I mean, I say everybody. A lot of people took umbrage at Morrissey's voice, didn't they?
Well, and his style and everything else, because it wasn't macho. It wasn't in heavy metal punk or anything like that. It was a very fey, effeminate kind of manliness, I think. So I think, like a lot of bands, you'd probably find a lot of people would puff out their chest. A lot of blokes in particular would puff out their chest and say, "Fucking Smiths, nah, not for me, mate." But secretly, quite like the music. Just don't admit it.
And Johnny Marr's guitar is just phenomenal, isn't it? I mean, that's again, if you talk about influential, Johnny Marr as a guitarist, superbly influential. And around that time, around the 80s was the time of, jangly pop, indie pop.
Yeah.
I can't really think whether the Smiths kind of contributed to that. I think a lot. I mean, you had all those creation bands.
Yeah.
And all the 53rd and Third and various other record labels that I can't think of off the top of my head. And that was a great time. There was some great music around that time. I mean, I was listening to Lily asked me about like jangly indie pop, because she really likes Tallulah Gosh.
Okay.
And I can't for the life of me think. I mean, whether she heard me playing it at some point, because I love Tallulah Gosh, and she was talking about that, and I did her a little playlist on Spotify of lots of bands from around that time. With the female kind of quite kind of quite light jangly pop type things, but also you had a bit of that kind of later on, that bit of that My Bloody Valentine, kind of grungy guitar in a jangly pop environment type of thing. Which was, it was kind of like Jesus Mary Chain. Well, that was a Jesus Mary Chain kicked that side of things off with the loud guitars, and it all kind of melded. God, we could have a whole episode about that as well. The influence of the Jesus Mary Chain on indie pop.
Yeah.
Because that was, I think probably, now I come to think of it, the Jesus Mary Chain were probably establishing themselves about the same time as the Smiths.
Yeah, it would have been.
So on the Smith side, you did have that kind of jangle pop side of things, and then coming through with Screaming Feedback on the left.
Yeah.
On the other side is the Jesus Mary Chain, and where they clash in the middle is where you get that certain type of creation band, and probably the the start of shoegaze.
Okay, well, I'll take your word for
there
it.
You go. Welcome to History of Music with Dave.
Make it up as you go along. Family trees of music.
Yeah. Well, it's weird. It's weird how when you get talking about music, things start to fall into place, and whether you've kind of you've come to that conclusion previously and just forgotten, and then all of a sudden you go, oh yeah, actually that's the missing link. You put together the Smiths on this hand, you put together Jesus Mary Chain, and then you've got a whole new bloody genre, haven't you, coming down the track?
I don't know. I'll tell you, I don't know if that's the way it works, but maybe.
Yeah,
maybe
but
is.
So I haven't spoken about the album at all, just about the Smiths. So the album released the 20th of February 1984, recorded September to November 1983 in Manchester and London. I don't know why I'm bothered. I'm just struggling with that. I was just gonna rattle on about a couple of bands for a bit, and then
it don't matter.
Just use the album as the
that's okay.
As the jump off point. Yeah. So anyway, the Smiths. The
Smiths. Okay.
Yes.
Where are we? My number 2 then is a band and therefore an album called Kiasmos.
Is that by Kiasmos?
It is, yes.
Ah, weird. That's
weird. That and music doesn't get any better than this. It's fantastic.
Why does that ring a bell, Kiasmos? It does. It just rings a bell as soon as you say Kiasmos. I thought I'm sure I've read something about Kiasmos today somewhere.
Really?
Yeah, it just seems very familiar.
Oh, right.
I mean, I could be talking out my arse. That wouldn't be the first
Well,
time.
you could be indeed. Well, Kiasmos is just wonderful, beautiful ambient techno. It's instrumental music, and it's performed by a duo, and it's Icelandic multi-instrumentalist and producer Olafur Arnolds and Faroe Islander Janus Rasmussen.
You showing off with your fucking Icelandic
Just
again.
the names.
Dear, oh dear.
So I've not come across Rasmussen's work outside of Kiasmos. He plays in an Icelandic band called Blood Group, who again I don't really know, but Arnolds has done loads and loads of solo work, and it's fantastic. It's wonderful emotional instrumental music, but they started working together in 2009, and all of their records are of a similar nature, as I say, ambient techno-y kind of electronics. It's really really good. You wouldn't know it, but Arnold's former stint was playing drums with hardcore metal band called Fighting Shit, which is nothing like Kiasmos whatsoever, because there's nothing abrasive or confrontational about Kiasmos music at all. You got these lush, soft waves of synth that billow and roil around superbly constructed rhythms.
How does one fight shit?
Well, there's a saying.
I mean, is there someone throwing it at you, and you've got a shield or something, or you've got fucking lasers and you have to fight the shit?
Well, there's a saying that goes, "He who with a turd wrestleth or wrestle be beshit himself."
Well, that makes more sense than simply fighting shit. Or how would you say fighting shit in Icelandic? It might make more sense in Icelandic.
I don't know that in Icelandic.
Here flew the shiten or something. You know, it's.
Oh my wordy mate. Anyway, moving on. So this album is nothing to do with fighting shit, and it doesn't evoke any image of fighting shit in any way, shape, or form. Because it's gorgeous. It's like being embraced in big warm clouds of sound, of pure joy. It's so well crafted. It's so gorgeous.
That does sound right up my street.
It would cheer you up no end, I'm sure, because it's so.
Do you know?
uplifting.
I've got a feeling. We were talking in the break about. I've done a couple of Instagram reels this week about ambient music, and I had lots and lots of comments, and it may be that someone has said, "Oh, have you listened to Kiasmos?"
Oh, right, might be.
And maybe I did listen to. I've listened to so much fucking ambient music. I could. I don't know. I could probably sleep for about a month. Well, I wish I could. I keep waking up stupidly early in the morning at the moment, but.
But the thing is, with the whole kind of definition of ambient techno, it's not ambient in as much as it's all beat driven. There's all electronic rhythms in there, and it's not techno in as much as it's hard for the floor dance music. It's where, look, you were talking a few moments ago about how two different bands come together and form something else, or two different genres come together and form something else. Well, this is like ambient coming together with techno and something completely different coming out of it, but you can see there's a tracer back.
You got that big dubby bass coming out of it.
There's not a dubby bass in it so much. No, it's just the synths and the melodies and the warm pads that are backed up by a beat, and it's all just really wonderful. And the fact is, it could work anywhere. You could easily listen to this and it would feel absolutely right if you were sitting on a beach with warm sea lapping at your toes. But it could easily work if you were driving through a city at midnight or in a dark club with your eyes closed, swaying to the rhythm. And any of those, this works. And I think probably this first album, because I think I've got all their records, with the exception of one or two EPs, I think all their records would be worthy of a place on a Desert Island Discs package, I think, because they're just music that would suit any ambiance and any mood. But it's great. Their most recent single came out last year. It's just a single track. It's not even hard copy. It's download, and it's a remix of a track called Burst, which is on their album from 2024, which is just called 2, and it's been remixed by a Brazilian DJ called Anna. But it's still very good. Still very good. So in 2024, it was the 10th anniversary of this record, of their debut Chiasmos. And they had some special releases. There was some coloured vinyl specials and so on, some nice covers, which were all very nice. But they also had, to mark the 10th anniversary, a cork record slip mat, which was an unusual one. And again, an aromatic product.
Here we go. You and your stenches.
It's really weird
honestly.
because I'd never realised that all these artists that I really, really like their records, I'd never realised that behind all of that there seemed to be an affinity with aromas and selling or creating aromas. Unlike Richter and Schutz, who were creating fragrances, this was an aromatic candle. And allegedly,
You sound like my fucking nan.
it's just curious. But allegedly, you burn this candle, which was quite expensive again, I noticed, and you get oak moss, herbaceous sage, and seaweed. Apparently, it's supposed to smell like Iceland. Now, I've been to Iceland a few times, but I can't really remember the smell that well.
Dead fish or something.
Yeah, that's what you would think.
Fucking hell.
Slaughtered whales.
So how much was this then? You said it was expensive.
Well, it's expensive for a candle. I thought it wasn't in the same realms as Max Richter's perfume, 135 quid. I think this was a 35 quid for a candle or 40 quid for a candle, which is a candle.
Hell.
Yeah, it's a candle, and it's going to make your house smell of seaweed and Nordic pine.
See, my friend Hannah, who I work with, she'd buy that fucker because she sends me links to like £700 candles.
£700 candle.
Would buy...
That's ridiculous.
I'm sure it was something. It was something really. I might have got the total. I'll ask her tomorrow.
You're doing a great disservice for her.
But yeah, they're ridiculously fucking stupid.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I guess there's some kind of artistry to it still, but it's not one that I can really connect with.
Well, I mean, I think it's all the same. I mean, these things, you know, all smelly things will take.
Straight from the marketing department of the latest aromatics. These smelly things.
Yeah. Well, they'll take time to construct because aroma wasn't built in a day.
Oh dear, oh dear. I thought you must be building up to something with the way you were persisting in that. Aroma wasn't built in a day. Clever, more clever than funny, but it was well done.
Oh dear. Do you think we could? I reckon that joke might get us in the top 100 intellectual podcasts
I think the judges have got to wade through 32 hours of absolute, 32 episodes of nonsense to find it.
Yeah, beat that joke, greatest playlist in the world ever. Fucking.
That's one on them.
Podcast wars. Podcast joke wars.
Oh gosh, I'm not getting involved in that. Anyway, I can't really say much more about it other than Olaf Arnolds also has formed this group called Opia, OPIA, which is a community project aimed at bringing like-minded artists together from across the world for all kinds of things, which looks quite interesting, which I didn't know about until I looked into this. But other than that, just great album, great band.
Fantastic. Yeah, I've found it on. I've just found it on Spotify.
Okay.
So I'm going to have a listen when we have our next little break, recording break, and looking forward to that. That does sound right up my street. I think I really like it.
I think you will.
Although Looped has 63 million listens.
They're all great. Yeah.
Lit only has. So I imagine Looped has been featured somewhere because that has got a good 40,000-50,000 more listens. I don't know why I give a fuck. I don't know why I'm getting so obsessed with that. Yes, that's at 63 million and that one's only at 13. What the fuck? I just don't. Yeah, it's just as soon as I see figures, I'm like, oh yeah, fucking hell.
Get on with your number 3.
Yes, my number 3. Okay, another classic LP. Okay. From 1967.
Oh my goodness me.
And you'll know it because the breakthrough single goes. Come on, baby,
that's it. Yes. Oh, what a great band.
Yeah, I do you know, I love the Doors. I love the Doors. Years ago, me and I had a couple of mates called Martin and Eddie, and we would go out a lot, and we all had our favourite bands. I would bring in like the punky snuff stuff. Martin was more kind of, he was a bit more Spear of Destiny, Theatre of Hate side of things. Ed was a massive Doors fan, and he was fucking completely obsessed with them. And previous to that, I never really heard the Doors. But I love the Doors now. But this particular album, I think I'd love to say, oh yes, yeah, well, my favourite album is one of the more obscure ones because, nice. But it's not. It's the fucking Doors, and it's the album that everybody knows. Yeah. And it's pretty peerless, really. Although I haven't said that, I mean, while I've been kind of researching, while I've been reading the Wikipedia articles about the Doors, you do find a lot of people don't really like them very much, and I mean, it's all very well, they weren't that good, were they? There was this and this and this I didn't like this about, and it's like, just fuck off, because sticking Light My Fire on its own is enough to go fucking classic. Mm-hmm. I mean, what a song. I don't care what other people think. I never have. But, I mean, and released in 1967. Yeah. I mean, I was fucking 2. I was 2 when this was released. And yet I can still listen to this and love it as much as anything that's come in the last 30 years, since we've been like listening to music properly, since we've been music fans, since we've discovered punk. And I would never have looked backwards when we got to punk. It was a few years before I started, looking back, and I'll get to that in one of my other records that I've picked. But this, starting to listen to the Doors. I mean, and he had fucking everything, so we did listen to every single. It was proper delving into the catalogue. And I've got them all. I've got them all on vinyl, and this I've got there was a remastered mono version that came out on lovely thick vinyl, and it sounds fucking amazing. Right. It sounds absolutely amazing. And the other thing that I could never quite, and I know this is a silly thing, they didn't have a bass. No. There was no bass. It was guitar, drums, and organ. And it wasn't even keyboards, really. It was an organ, just fucking amazing. Absolutely amazing. And it was, was it Jim Manzarek? Was Jim Manzarek the keyboardist? Ray Manzarek.
Ray, yeah.
Yeah, Ray Manzarek. Jim Morrison, who everybody knows on the singing. I mean, and because who played him in the film? Val Kilmer, didn't he? Val Kilmer played him in the film. I don't know how accurate the film was, but
I've never seen it.
I should watch it again. Really, it's I remember it being really good, entertaining more than anything else. So it was Jim Morrison, Ray Manzarek, Robbie Krieger was the guitarist, and then John Densmore was the drummer. Okay. And they used to, they'd play live. They do these bloody really long jams and everything, and it was all very 60s hippie bollocks. And then after the Doors, you had Strange Days, Morrison Hotel, LA Woman. I can't even tell you a lot of them. The later ones, I can't tell you which song is which. I know there's the one that goes, "Oh, show me the way to the next whiskey bottle."
The Alabama song.
Oh, is it? Right, okay, yeah. I do know that the end. This is the end.
God, what a song.
My only friend, the end.
The Crystal Ships. Riders on the Storm, you'd know those, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah, right, Riders on the Storm. I don't know why I feel the obliged to sing them all.
Because that's just you. But I think they were inconsistent. They had those fantastic songs, and you just named a whole raft of them between us there. But they had some duff ones as well.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. None of which were on the first album, though, I don't think. The first album is just banger after banger, and also the end is the end's 11 minutes long, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's fucking phenomenal. 11 minutes 35. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Right up my street.
Break on through to the other side. That's the first song.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a cracker. Alabama song, Light My Fire, Backdoor Man.
Then when the music's over, turn off the lights. That's a long one as well.
Is that on this album?
No, I'm just talking more widely about the band and their catalogue now.
Oh, Light My Fire is 7 minutes.
Yeah. Because they kind of got into the moment and just kind of free-falled it a lot of the time and jammed it, I think.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, they were great. And then Jim Morrison goes and dies.
He did.
Or did he?
Oh no. Did he indeed?
Well, I can remember. He did, yeah. No doubt he had something to do with it. I can remember. I'm sure there was some conspiracy theory that he hadn't actually died, wasn't there? He'd gone to Paris, put on loads of weight, died in a bath. But did he? Or is he living somewhere now as a well, he's probably fucking dead.
I think that was just masses of very, very optimistic people who idolised him because he was such an iconic figure.
He was, wasn't he? I mean, I think of all the 60s, stars, music stars, he's probably one of the most iconic. Jim Morrison. Maybe not so much now, but a few years ago in the 80s and 90s, especially with as I said, with the film that Oliver Stone directed, very iconic. And he's got a gravestone in Paris. Is it in Montmartre or
don't know.
The cemetery of Montmartre? I don't fucking know. I'm probably making shit up now. But that's always there's always people going on there putting tributes down, isn't there? You visiting Jim Morrison's grave. Just as we visit Karl Marx.
Have you not been?
I've been to Karl Marx's tomb. Yeah, it's fucking massive, isn't it?
It certainly was. For a man of his political persuasion, you wouldn't expect it to have been such a big, expensive thing like that. But I think other people paid for it. He didn't pay for it.
Yeah. Weirdly, we went to see Karl Marx's grave the day after we went to see Shellac.
Oh right.
Play in London back in 90 something.
Okay.
And we are so fucking hungover. Oh my god, we were nearly dying. But my friend Terry lived near Highgate Cemetery. So we decided we'd have a walk around the cemetery, which was really nice actually. But it was April the 1st, and we'd gone down on March the 31st to see this band. It was freezing fucking cold, so we had great big leather jackets on, and we were all wrapped up. Woke up on April the 1st. It was fucking baking hot. It was one of the hottest days of the year of that so far. And we were just sweating beer, and I'd thrown up, and we fucking yeah, it's dreadful. But anyway, so that the Doors, number 2, the Doors, again without really talking about the album that much and just wanking on about the band and whatnot.
It's fine.
But yeah, fuck it, who cares? It's our podcast. We do what we want.
It is. My number 3, again, off in a different direction entirely, and that's the beauty of these podcasts, isn't it? We just cover such a diverse range of territory.
Yep, absolutely.
This is an album and a band called Dimension X, and there have been, from what I can gather, a number of different bands with the same name. So to be specific, this Dimension X only released one album. It was released in 2007, and it's absolutely amazing. But it is a bit weird. It is a bit different.
No way.
Before we get to the record, who is this configuration? Who is this band of Dimension X? There are 3 people. There's drummer Chris Corsano, and he's...
Oh, I've seen him live. He's fucking bonkers.
He's bonkers. He's all over the place, and he's been in a whole range of different outfits. Flowers Corsano duo, clandestine trio.
That's what I saw. Flower Corsano duo.
Flowers
Corsano.
They're good. Yeah, I like them. I've got some records.
That was insane. That was
improv.
Yeah, very improv.
You don't like improv?
I don't know, but I think we just went for the fucking hell of it, really. That was around the time we'd just seen Sunburned Hand of the Man
Okay,
play out of Portland, and there's a bunch of guys in Cambridge called Crushing Death and Grief, who are promoters, and we went to a few of their gigs, and I'm pretty sure it was them. And right after, well, I could be all over the place here, but as I remember it, around the time of Sunburned Hand of the Man, we enjoyed that so much we went along to see Corsano.
Flowers
Corsano, yeah, and thoroughly enjoyed it. It was absolutely bonkers.
Yes, but sometimes when improv works, it works. You know?
It does, yeah, and they're still promoting now. Crushing Death and Grief. In fact, I went to see Landy Hecht the other week, and that was one of their promotions as well. Yeah, top bunch. Okay. In fact, I'm pretty sure they were the ones who put on Sleaford Mods when we saw them at the Portland Arms years ago. Before it all went fucking mental. This was around the time of Thingy Dogs. What was that album called?
Oh,
something Dogs, wasn't it? Fucking hell! Here we go again. Austerity Dogs. Yes, yeah. Two old duffers trying to remember shit and can't. Yes, they put them on, and it was fucking amazing. It was one of the best gigs I've been to.
That's a great album. That's one of my favourite albums by the Sleaford Mods.
Yeah, they were. Yeah. That was great. But yeah, shout out to Crushing Death and Grief.
You familiar with Chris Corsano?
Yes, I am
also
indeed.
Got David Shalmin, who is a sound engineer and musician. He is in a band called Triple Sun, but he's worked with Third Eye Foundation, Efter Klang, Matt Elliott as well. And then you got Massimo Pupillo, who's the bass player, and he's a member of Pleiades, Black Engine, Off and Off, Original Silence, amongst others. And these three came together for this record, called themselves Dimension X, and I think that's all they ever did as Dimension X. It's all that I can find anyway. But all of them appear to be working in improv, experimental rock, and going off into different bands and different configurations as a matter of like such a frequent change about what they're doing. He babbles on nonsensically, and I edit all that out. But none of that improv stuff properly prepares you for this Dimension X record, because I can genuinely say I don't have any other record that's like this, but I really, really like it, because what this record is fundamentally built around soundtracks, curb soundtracks to B-movie sci-fi films. So one of the main elements of this music is these voices in a B-movie that has been cut, but not heavily cut, so you can follow stories and stuff. But it is the main part of the sound, and then around that and through that and within it, you've got all this improv rock clattering up and down and crashing around, and it's really, really absorbing, really compelling. It doesn't, I can't explain it in a way that perhaps makes it sound attractive to many people listening. So you've got a film soundtrack and a load of chaotic improv noise rock, but when it comes together, it is really fantastic. These samples, I don't know what film they're from, but as I say, they're not cut or processed in a way that that a film aficionado wouldn't be able to say what they are. And there's nothing on the cover of the record that says what the film is. It's probably quite a famous film. I'm just not into film to the extent you'll probably know it if you hear it.
Yeah.
So if you can, I'd be very surprised if it's on Spotify. Actually, I haven't looked.
It's not.
Is it not?
No, I was just looking.
So I did have a look on YouTube, and there are some bits of Dimension X playing live, which doesn't give you a lot because there's none of the samples. And there's what appears to be a kind of tribute video, quite nice, professionally put together video of one of the tracks on this album by somebody that's not in Dimension X, but he's chosen one of the very few tracks that doesn't have all of the samples running through it, all of the soundtrack. Most of it has been built on the film soundtracks, but there's one or two bits that haven't, and she's chosen one that haven't, possibly for reasons of copyright or fear or whatever. But it's a fearsome combination. This thing. It's kind of avant-garde, jazz, rock, improv, which sounds horrible, but it sounds great. It sounds horrible when you say it, but it sounds great. And the way it works with the sample is really good because it's a B-movie sci-fi film, and it's about a robot that gains human feelings, kills its manufacturer, and then falls in love with a woman, and then ends up killing her. There's this rising tension and then ebbing away and then rising again, which is all matched by the music. They're playing along with it, and as the terror and tension build in the soundtrack, the music grows more fearsome and clattering, and then it ebbs away again with the film. It's really, 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 really effective. The first track is my favourite, Almost Human. The climax is an absolute cacophony of sound as this humanoid robot assaults the woman he's fallen in love with, who he calls his mother because he believes he's developed the capacity to love. It's all a bit weird. Whereas The Empire That Never Ended is a slightly more structured affair, but it lurches around with the drums clattering around insanely, with a truly grungy guitar riff repeating whilst electronics twist and curve throughout it. Some of the tracks do have sizable sections that are absent of instruments and are just a sample, and they just haven't played at all. And when you listen to it, it's really interesting. There's the last few minutes of a track called The Martian Chronicles is just the sample, which really works. Long time ago, I did a track which I'd sampled a documentary about Haiti and the Tonton Macoute and the Papa Duvalier with the intention of putting lots of stuff on it. But I found I just like listening to the soundtrack that I'd got. And I did put stuff on it, and it went out on one of my first releases, which was under the name Slackjaw. And it got quite good reviews, even though it was a 28-minute long track that was based... It worked well. Anyway, yes. According to the sleeve notes, few as they are, the samples and the synths are recorded in counter phase on this record. So if you play the record in mono, it cancels each other out, and you're just left with the instrumentation, and everything else drops away. You don't get the samples and stuff, which I've never tried to do it, but no. But it's mad, deranged, extraordinary, and I don't think there's anything else out there by them. I really can't remember how I came across it, to be honest, but it's fascinating. Online or
record shop or...
I know, well, I've got the record, but I don't know how I came to buy it. I don't remember reading a review, and I don't remember where I would have heard it, but I just have it, and it's great. 2007.
I'm sure I've got records exactly the same. I'm like, where the fuck did that come from?
Yeah. But if you can find it on YouTube, as I say, you're not... Well, I can't really tell you where to go and listen to it if it's not on Spotify, because the things on YouTube are not this album in its full glory. So I don't know. Go and buy it. Just go and buy it on a risk. Yeah, that it's great.
Go on, you fuckers. Go and buy it, bastards.
If it's still available, I don't know.
Yeah.
But there you go. That's it. That's awesome. That record.
Okie dokes. Well, I will have a look and see if I can find it somewhere, if it's on YouTube or something. But yes, cool. Okay, my number 4. Another obvious choice, I think. And again, I hadn't realised, from 1967.
Oh, famous year.
Yes, and this is the Velvet Underground and Nico.
Oh wow! Okay.
And like I say, I just had this big blap of classic LPs. Yeah, that was the same. It went blap, and all of a sudden it was in my fucking brain. I was like, oh, Velvet Underground and Nico, you got to use that. But there's no reason not to feature albums like this, because even if I mean, our tastes are so wide and varied that we do tend to go off on tangents. And picking obscure punk albums and that, and it would be a shame to miss, I mean, not that this is kind of a normal LP to any standard, really, is it? I mean, it is a classic, but you look at it, you listen to it, and you think, fuck me, who was listening to this in 1967? Which is kind of the point. There weren't many people listening to it in 1967 because, it was kind of a bit of a flop, really, because people didn't get it, and I think it just, and I mean, I would never have heard of the Velvet Underground. Well, I mean, I would have at some point, but in 1984, as we've just said earlier, I was a massive Jesus and Mary Chain fan, and I remember reading the interview, and they said, "Who are your influences?" And they said, Phil Spector, which I was like, well, yeah, I was aware of Phil Spector by then, and the Velvet Underground, and I went, oh, I haven't heard Velvet Underground, and I mean, I was only 18, 19 at this time. I'd had a strict diet of punk, so I bought, I think the first Velvet Underground album I bought was White Light, White Heat.
Yeah.
Which is quite a starting point, I can tell you. That's a fucking album. Amazing record that is. From the closing virtual thrash of White Light, White Heat, with John Cale's reading of was it The Box, the one about when he posts himself, and
that's it. Yeah.
I won't give any spoilers away. He dies. But that's a great. But and then worked my way on to the Velvet Underground and Nico. And the first time I remember the first time I heard it, I was like, my God, what the hell is this? Because you got Lou Reed doing his bits and bobs, and all of a sudden this German girl comes on going, and what shall we wear at all tomorrow's parties? It's like, the fuck? Because it was just so unexpected, I think. You get a bit of Lou Reed, and you think, oh yeah, I can see this, and then all of a sudden, what? This must be Nico then, and I was a bit. I didn't really know quite what to. I mean, I love the song, but she's definitely. I don't know about an acquired taste.
Yes, it's not a classic singing voice, but it's distinctive. It's got a great character to it, and it really fits.
Oh, it's amazing, yeah. But because you've just had, I mean, you go to track one is Sunday morning, Lou Reed, and then you've got waiting for my man, and then all of a sudden you got she's the femme fatale, the thing she does for love, she's the what? Then you've got Venus in Furs with your shiny boots of leather. And it's like, where the fuck is this going? Then run, 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 run. And then all tomorrow's party. And it's like, fucking hell. And then track 2, heroin.
Yeah.
What the...
Side 2, not track 2, but yeah.
Yeah, side 2, track 1. There she goes again. I'll be your mirror. Black Angel's death song. We're really pulling in the cheerful ones there. And then European Sun. And then it's done. 48 minutes and bang, you're done. But it is just one of the greatest LPs I think I've ever heard.
It's good.
And there's a really, I've got a really good deluxe CD edition with the mono and the stereo versions, and there's a definite, you can definitely hear the difference in it. And again, it's gone on the band in general, the Velvet Underground. I mean, and really, these first 2 LPs, I would say, have gone on so influential. Inspired so many bands, and they're one of those bands where, in the in the 70s. You read about bands forming and your favourite bands, and it was like, I was just trying to find someone else who liked the Velvet Underground. Bam, formed a band. It's like, I wanted to, I was into the MC5 and the Stooges. Bam, formed this band. And so just, I mean, it's such an adventurous album as well. And again, at the time, nobody wanted to listen to it. You've also got, it's easy to forget. You've also got the influence of Andy Warhol on there.
Yeah,
one of the great artists of the 20th century, with the peely banana I'm miming the peeling the banana.
Yeah.
Obviously. Well, I'm not actually miming peeling the banana because that would be like this. I'm miming peeling the banana off of the front cover.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, so just trying to establish some kind of visual context for our listeners there.
I'm sure they would appreciate it.
Yeah, I need to bother because if I hadn't talked about it, no one would have known why I was doing that mime. So, but yeah, and so Andy Warhol had them. They were featured on his Andy Warhol's Exploding Plastic Inevitable tour, which is something that only could have. I mean, that name alone could only have happened in the 60s. What should we call it? How about Andy Warhol's Exploding Plastic? Yeah, man, that's really great. Yeah,
man.
Yeah, sorry, I was doing 60s. I was being a hippie.
It's very good.
And was also co-producer. I mean, what Andy Warhol know about producing music is, I'm not really sure. I don't think he had much of a music background. But we've produced it with Tom Wilson. And then, so recorded in 66, released in 67. So again, this was out around about the time of the first Doors LP as well. I remember when we were into when we were into punk and everything, you were kind of discouraged from looking back, really. I think from I mean, again, we've covered this slightly before with things like Paul Cook's "I Hate Pink Floyd" t-shirt, and everything pre-punk was kind of dismissed, really. Despite the fact that the punks were were kind of influenced by like the MC5 and the Stooges and some 60s bands, and that was all kind of thrown together in a mishmash. I think the whole thing was really they hated prog at that time.
Yeah.
But did they? Because Rotten was a big prog fan.
So it turned out.
Yeah. This is the thing. So we were never encouraged to at that time, never really encouraged to look back.
I didn't feel like I was discouraged to look back, but I think at that age, when everything is
probably not discouraged,
so
but
exciting.
We weren't encouraged to look further than what was happening at that time. And if you think about the Stranglers, I mean, fuck me, they were so influenced by the Doors.
Yeah, definitely.
It is a bit of a pity, really. But I mean, obviously, nowadays, I mean, those Nico albums that she did after Velvet Underground, fucking amazing, aren't they?
It's some good stuff, yeah.
Goodness me, not so much Chelsea Girl, but the other ones.
Desert Shore.
What are they called? Desert Shore. That's right.
It's
yes,
a great album.
And the Marble Index.
I haven't got that.
They're fucking insane. I mean, I've got both of them on vinyl, but I've got a double CD of loads of stuff she did from around that time. And if I'm honest, I do struggle to listen to more than half an hour of her.
Really?
Some of that stuff, it was very. I mean, John Cowell was involved for a start, so that's kind of. But it's very out there.
Yeah. Do you remember the Breeze Block that used to come on Radio 1? And there was an artist just have a session, and they would do a mix up of all the music they liked.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I think first time I can remember hearing Nico on her own was on there. Bjork did a Breeze Block, and Bjork had cut in Le Petit Chevalier from Desert Shore with these electronic beats and everything. And then the beats faded away and just left Nico's voice. It sounded wonderful.
Oh, right.
Wonderful sound.
Awesome. You can use, if you look hard enough, you can find most of those Breeze Block mixes online.
Oh, right.
Weirdly, that reminds me. When we saw the Prodigy at the Cambridge Corn Exchange years ago, they had a DJ on beforehand, and he somehow managed to mix in London's Burning with a load of dance beats. I mean, and it was proper thunderous stuff. That was fucking amazing. I cannot remember who he was, and I've never found any. I've even searched for London Burning mixed or whatever. Yeah. Cannot find it.
There's an artist I really like. I don't know much about them. Quite mysterious. Chugging Edits. I don't know if you're familiar with him or her.
All right. No, I'm not. No.
Oh, well, what he or she does is remix well-known soul, funk, pop, disco tracks, and gives them some real oomph with the bottom end, the bass and the drums, but cuts them and puts some looping in as well. It's really, really good. I came across him some years ago,
okay.
or her, and ended up buying the whole catalogue.
Ah, yes, I've just found him on Bandcamp while you were.
Yeah, he used to have a whole load of material on Bandcamp.
Oh,
But
okay.
I think he took it all down. And what he does now is put it up for a short period, sometimes only 24, 48 hours. And you can buy it, but then he takes it down and it ends up on SoundCloud.
Oh, okay.
I think he had some objection to Bandcamp and
right.
just decided not to use that platform anymore.
Fair enough.
But it's definitely well worth finding. Love his stuff. Or her stuff.
I'll definitely see if I can get some of his stuff. It looks like it does look really good fun.
Yeah, I think you'd enjoy that actually. Cause
I think I probably would actually. Yeah, I'm just looking at them now. It looks very interesting. But yes. Yeah, so Velvet Underground and Nico. Again, we've just kind of discussed the influence of them, but that's kind of we did actually go through the track list this time, didn't we?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
with singing as well.
I think that's the first whole album you've sung parts of. I think.
Yeah,
so something.
I think it is. Yeah. It's so easy to do. They're such brilliant songs, aren't they?
Yeah.
I mean, every single one on there is just absolutely amazing.
What's the last track on that album?
European Sun.
Yeah, I'm not so keen on. That's the only one I'm not so keen on.
Right. Okay.
But the rest are brilliant. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Heroin. Yeah. I mean, I love Venus in Furs. Is just a fucking. Oh my god. What a song.
Yeah. I was only listening to Transformer last week. I think I put that on the listening thing because Lou Reed obviously did some amazing stuff afterwards as well.
Well, weirdly, I've never
machine music. That's
well, yeah. I never really listened to much of his solo stuff.
Oh, well.
And if I'm honest, my two favourite Velvet Underground albums are this and
White Light,
White Hate.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I've never really strayed much past them.
There's some good stuff beyond. If you get the opportunity,
I kind of know the singles. I know the main tracks. But yeah, I really should make a bit more of an effort to get into them. But yeah, this is just a fantastic album. So,
and of course, Lou Reed went and got married to Laurie Anderson. A great coming together of two fantastic artists.
Yes, absolutely. And then died.
He did
Unfortunately,
die, sadly. Yes, a few years
fucking
ago.
hell. Typically, John Cale's still going though. John Cale just did music with Charlie XCX for the
did he?
Wuthering Heights. It's the Charlie XCX soundtrack for Wuthering Heights is really fucking good.
Okay,
it's well worth a listen. It's not what but a lot of it is not quite what you think it's going to be.
Okay,
I think she did a really good job of it. But I is down with the kids, so
you're far more than I am, and it's that wearing a backwards baseball cap that I always found disconcerting with you.
I've got some baseball caps, and it's getting hot. And now I've got no hair. I know, through choice.
Yep.
Now I'm kind of skinheaded.
Yeah.
Yes, I really should start wearing them all, but I always forget. I'm just about managed to remember to put my sunglasses on, and then completely forget my hat. So yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So anyway, there you go. That was my number 4.
Okay, my number 4 is a band and an album, of course, called Oiseau Tempête.
Bless you.
And you do that so
I ain't done a fucking bless you joke for ages. I just wait for these band names because I always know there's going to be one quite soon to do the old bless you joke.
Well, there you go. I'd like to just line them up for you. So this is a French band.
One of these days you're going to pick a band actually called Achoo, and I'm just going to go...
I'm going to make one just to annoy you. There's almost certainly a band out there called Achoo.
It's got to
no
be,
doubt about it.
It's got to be, yeah. I mean, there's a band called the Nunfuckers, for Christ's sake. There's got to be a band called fucking Achoo, isn't there?
So Oiseau Tempête, they're French, they're based in Paris, and the name translates to Stormbirds. And this is their debut album, 2013, on Sub Rosa, which is a great label.
Yeah, I know Sub Rosa. Who else is on Sub Rosa?
Oh, I don't know. There's lots of bands.
Don't just fucking dismiss me. At least make an effort. Jesus Christ! I ask a fucking reasonable question and you just fob me off.
And at the top of my head.
Now I'm gonna have to Google it.
You go and have
and
a look.
I know how much you hate me googling stuff.
I'll carry on while you're googling. Anyway, so Wezzo Tempête, they're not really quite a band and they're not really quite a collective. There's this core trio of talented multi-instrumentalists, Frederick Dioberlands, Stefan Pignol and Mondkopf. And then they surround themselves with loads of other people. Mondkopf. Go on, bless you.
Mondkopf. That's Mondkopf. Where's Votrikov? See, my command of the French language is almost as good as my command of the English language.
Oh dear. Anyway, for this album, they've also drafted in Ben McConnell on drums and percussion, but they do list about 25 other musicians who have played a part in their history. And these albums, they've done a whole raft of albums, and they're all magnificent. And magnificent really is a word that fits this music. They're all instrumental. And if you think Godspeed You Black Emperor, Mono, Mogwai, these huge epic rock soundscapes, Wezzo Tempête are absolutely brilliant at it. Absolutely brilliant at it. And if you haven't come across them, I know you would like them, because I know you like Godspeed You Black Emperor and Mogwai. I do
very much.
And this is very much in that same vein. So this is their debut, their first album, and it's part of a trilogy, their first trilogy of what they call their Mediterranean albums, which they recorded and sampled out in Greece and around Europe. And there are glorious swells of music that crashes down into delicate, intricate valleys of calm, mixed up with field recordings and samples of distant voices in the background, which adds a real depth to it. Sometimes there are waves of coruscating guitar crashing over you and it's euphoric. But when there isn't, and when the pace drops and the sheets of epic guitar fade away, you got these beautiful little, very intricate pieces and sections, which, you know, you just lose yourself in. Every finger slide on a fretboard, every glance of a brush on the snare plays a crucial part. And on this album, great example of that is a track called La Traversée, which is just magnificent, which begins with a bleak industrial soundscape, but then it dissolves halfway through into the most wonderful, sparse piece of music. It's absolutely sublime. Like Godspeed You Black Emperor, there's a proclivity for long, sprawling, evolving epics. The tracks are mostly 10 minutes or more.
Here we fucking go.
And I don't look for this. It's just the way it works out. With the track.
So you say. Monkov.
Some of their tracks are over 20 minutes, but on this particular album, I think the longest one is about 18 minutes. So it's called Ouroboros. And the Ouroboros is an ancient image depicting a snake or dragon devouring its own tail. And it crops up all over the place. Lots of musicians have used it because it represents the cyclical nature of birth, death, rebirth, infinity and unity and so on. So you've got tracks named Ouroboros, not only by Wezzo Tempête, but Goat on their eponymous album from 2024. So I could have had Goat's first album.
Yeah.
Merzbow, 2014, on his album Echoes and Signals, track called Ouroboros. And there's even a metal band called Dawn of Ouroboros. So it crops up quite a lot. But Wezzo Tempete's take on this legend is just one of those monumental epics. Distant bowed strings, electric guitar just hanging, suspended in air, long reverb on the notes. And some of it is kind of slow-core and spacious in the same way as Bohren and the Club Agora we talked about a little while ago. And then after 10 minutes, it kind of fizzles and dissolves away almost to nothing. and then it comes back with its roar. It's like a Panzer tank just suddenly turning up on your doorstep. It's just huge sound. It's orchestral, magnificent. Huge ragged chords, cymbals crashing, and yeah, it's glorious. But they're not all long ones. On this album, there were a couple of 2-minute tracks, Silencer and Sophie's Shadow, which are just little field oriented pieces, and as I said, they sampled and took field recordings around Greece, and they just got these little kind of vignettes to as interludes to the big long majestic tracks that are on the album, and it's great. So yeah, I kind of picked up this record because I've got the 3 or 4 of the records, and I hadn't listened to them for a long time, and I thought, oh, Wazzo 10p, I'll talk about those on the podcast, and I played it, and I thought, fucking hell, how is it I've not played this for as long as I haven't played it? It's so good. And I noticed there's a couple of records they've released in the last few years that I haven't got yet, so I'll have to pick up those as well, because all of the records I've got by them are fantastic. I think their last release was in 2022, and they did a tour in 2023, and I'm not really sure if they are continuing or if they're on a bit of a hiatus, or whether they just have that kind of work cycle. Hopefully they're still out there, they're still playing, they're still creating, because it is, again, magnificent. You will definitely like them.
Yeah, I'll give them a bash. I've just found them on Discogs, so I know how to spell it now. I took a guess at Wazzo, and I did actually get that bit right.
Good,
so
good.
I'll have listened to that.
You definitely like that.
Yeah, cool. Okay, so on to my number 5, and this is a tiny bit of a cheat.
Just before you start, you asked me who else was on Sub Rosa, and I know I've got lots of records by bands on Sub Rosa, but I blanked, and I had a quick look in my record collection, and on Sub Rosa, they're very diverse. Everything from Scanner, Merzbow, Test Department, Coil, Philip Glass, William Burroughs, loads of different records on Sub Rosa. They did quite a number of interesting compilations as well.
I'm not sure. I just knew the knew the name, and I don't know why.
Yeah,
but okay.
Usually quite fringe music in a lot of different subgenres.
Awesome.
But they've been going for years.
Yeah, I know I've heard of them. That's probably something obscure from fucking million years ago. Right, okay. So my number 5 is a tiny bit of a cheat. It is.
You'd indicated it might be.
It is kind of. It is more or less eponymous. It's called Is It Man or Astro Man?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll let you have that, because again, just because it's a fantastic band again, so I'm going to let it go.
So Man or Astro Man are kind of I want to kind of say surf punk band, but I don't really think that does them justice. It's. I mean, I think they come from the punk underground scene, but they do play kind of a it's definitely it started off as a surf rock type of music, and has kind of gravitated through the years to include, there's space rock, electronic rock, psychedelic, punk, garage, all these different bits and bobs kind of combining. But the early album, of which Is It Man or Astro Man, I believe that was their first LP. It was very, very surf based, and it was lots and lots of surf covers as well. There were originals, and they still it's mainly originals, but back then there were several cover versions, and the reason I like them, and what I was saying earlier, was the kind of going back, because I remember when we were talking about Agent Orange last week, and listening to their first LP, and I think that was the first time when I heard Agent Orange doing surf music. That was the first time I kind of started looking back to music, the music that had preceded punk. And I remember buying a surf music compilation with the Beach Boys, Jan and Dean, the Ventures, and all the 60s surf band, and absolutely loved it. And then became a massive fan of the Beach Boys through.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I still love the Beach Boys even now. Not all of the Beach Boys. Some of it, I'm kind of getting to grips with later Beach Boys now. But the '60s Beach Boys, all the surf, twangy guitars, the Ventures, Dick Dale, all those kind of bands. And I think that's why when I first heard Is It Man or Astro Man, I was so enamoured with them. I really loved that whole. It was very much almost as if it was a mashup of Agent Orange and, for instance, Dick Dale. You had that punkiness, but you also had a very 60s vibe. Whereas Agent Orange had been a punk rock version with surf punk influences. This kind of was they were doing surf punk. This was surf music.
Despite all of the energy that they played with, and my God, they had lots of energy and ferocious songs, I never thought of them as a punk band or anything like a punk band. Surf garage rock, I would have said, but I never even thought of them in the same way. I think there was definite punk. I think they came from punk rock background. I don't know anything about them, to be honest. I've got some of their records and I've seen them. One of the best gigs I've ever been to was Man Astro.
I've never seen. I had tickets to see them a couple of years ago for the first time, and they cancelled. I was fucking distraught.
Are they still going?
Yeah, still going. Still releasing records now.
Oh God, when I went to see them years and years ago, it was exhausting.
Yeah, I can imagine.
It was just flat out ferocious. Yeah. It was brilliant. But I don't know anything about the band, so I'm looking forward to what you're going to tell us.
Well, so you had the three main members who were Star Crunch, Bird Stuff, and Coco the Electronic Monkey Wizard. Now, I've got a feeling, as I've said before, I think they may be pseudonyms. I'm not sure.
Maybe.
I'm not sure. I mean, I'll have to ask Mr. and Mrs. Electronic Monkey Wizard and say, have you got a son called Coco? And if they say yeah, I'm like, well, there you go then. Yeah. No, they are. Star Crunch is Brian Causey. Bird Stuff is Brian Teasley. And Coco the Electronic Monkey Wizard was Robert Del Bueno. And so Star Crunch was on guitar and vocals, occasional vocals, because they were mainly instrumental. They did do a cracking cover of Destination Venus by the Rosillos. It's fucking superb. Bird Stuff is on drums, and Coco Electronic Monkey Wizard on bass guitar and electronics. And they've had lots of other members throughout the years. That was the core. Okay. At the moment, I've got a feeling it's just Bird Stuff and Star Crunch and a couple of others. And even then, I'm not sure if that's the touring lineup or not. But they're still touring all over America. But they'd gone over. They were going over to Spain to do a festival in Spain, and they were doing one gig in Islington on the way back. So I fucking got my ticket. I was so excited. Fucking cancelled. I was absolutely devastated. I don't think I've ever been more upset about a gig being cancelled. But the albums are great, but they also have done this run of limited edition singles, of which at one point I had fucking loads. I had a massive collection, and then in a fit of pique, I sold them all. I don't know why. I think it's because singles. I loved having them. But after a while, it was like, why have I got them? Because I don't play them. I very rarely play singles because I'm too fucking lazy to stand up every 3 minutes and go and turn them.
That's where I started from. Yeah. I was too lazy when I was 16.
Yeah, well, exactly. So I have kind of moved away from singles. I love them aesthetically and I love to have them, but I don't feel the need to keep them anymore. So I've kind of been selling off singles for quite some time.
We talked about this before. When you kind of think, I'll sell a load as I've done in the past, and then like 6 months later, you're thinking, fuck, I wish I hadn't sold X, Y, or Z. I would really like.
Well, to be honest, I mean, I think I've done that. I've looked back and thought, I wish I hadn't sold my all my Man or Astro Man singles. And then it's like, well, why? Because it's purely the fact that I would have loved to have picked them all up and looked through them. I very much doubt I'd have played them because I've got all the fucking compilations with all the singles on anyway.
It's the joy of collecting and the achievement of collecting anything, really. I guess if you're a stamp collector, a book collector, a collector of art.
Totally. Yeah, I totally get that.
It's the love of having built this collection of artifacts that you love.
Oh, absolutely. But then it comes down to, like, you know, after a while you think, well, who fucking cares? You know, it's not like something. Well, I do care, but then I look at them and I think, but they're just a bunch of useless objects that I'm not going to do anything with. And I don't know. Okay. I think I'm just trying to retrain my brain just to not want. I feel like I could quite easily, given the money, go and live in a fucking croft, a croft on a Scottish island with no connection, as long as I had like a streaming service and a big speaker, and a load of books and a telly and whatnot. Yeah, I'll be happy. And that's the problem with, you know, and that's a lot to do with the ADHD. You know, it's that kind of, I want to get rid of stuff, but I can't bring myself to do it. But then I think, but why? Right. Why can't I do it? You know, I've got books. I've got a fucking massive pile of Stephen King books. I'm never going to read them again. You know, I find since I had that bout of COVID a few years ago and lost the ability to just concentrate on books, you know, I still buy books. I rarely read the fucking things. It's ludicrous.
I did get rid of some books. A year or two ago, and that wasn't so hard because I do have loads and loads of books that I know I'll never read again, but I'm not going to get rid of just in case I want to read again.
Yeah, but
funny thing is, a lot of these things.
No, go on.
A lot of things are collected over the years, and you think, okay, well, I'm not going to get rid of that because when I'm retired, I'll want to look at that, and I'll have the time to do this. And I've been over 2 years retired. I haven't picked up any of these things again, but I still think that one day I will want to. One day I want to read that again. But one day I want to listen to it again.
I can guarantee you fucking won't.
My kids can sell it.
I've been living in this flat for 6 years now, and there's stuff that I brought in with me 6 years ago, and I haven't touched since the day I bought it in. You know, and it's like, what's the point? I mean, just keeping it there just in case. When I know that the majority of things, if I was really I really need that book, I'd go on eBay and I could order it for about £2, free delivery, get it within 3 fucking days, put it down, and then never read that copy either. So
I think if you went totally kind of anti-materialism and said, you know, you surround yourself over your life, over the course of your life with loads of stuff that's just not necessary, it's not needed, and you're just fueling the capitalist, consumerist monster. All of that's true. But I think if you shed it all and you shed all of the memories and all of the joys that have been wrapped up in all of this, the moment you bought it, the first time you played it or read it, if you shed all of that and say, yeah, I'll go and live on a mountainside in a log cabin, that would be brilliant. But then you kind of say, well, what has it all been for? If everything I've acquired, I can just get rid of and there's just me again. There's a purist element to it, I suppose. But a lot of what you collect is what you are and who you are and how you define yourself as well. I like collections.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not against it. Don't get me wrong. I mean, look at that. I've still got
thousands of records.
I've still got thousands of records. But it is, I don't know. It's probably just, you know, it's all existential, isn't it? Really, it
is. Yeah.
You know. And the fact of the matter is as much as I'll go on about, I'm never going to get rid of the fucking stuff I've just moaned about. You know, it'll still be there in 10 years, you know, as long as I am. But
after you're gone, at least your kids have got something to sell.
Yeah, they'll all take this in a fucking charity shop, the little shit bags. They'll be going, oh, that's shit. I don't know why he fucking kept that, old wanker. Oh dear.
Anyway, Man or Astro Man then.
They released hundreds of singles on various labels. It's been on Estrus, Touch and Go, Sympathy with the Record Industry. You know, English labels, One Louder. They released a few of their LPs, and everything is, you know, I was going to say they've never released a Duff LP, and they haven't. But having said that, their sound has changed, but remains fundamentally, what it was all those years ago in the early '90s when they first came together. And it was that, and it's very much, there's lots of there's lots of really cool film samples. Talking of, what we were talking about earlier, there's lots of like dialogue from old '60s hot rod films and from Batman films, and and there is very much a '60s kind of a much of '60s-ness to it. '60s culture was always part of it. And so, I mean, because I was '60s surf culture is of its is of the '60s. There was no real surf culture in the '70s and '80s that was as involving as that in the '60s. You had a proper aesthetic then. Surfing has never gone away. But if you think of surf, you always kind of go back to the '60s and the Beach Boys and those.
Have you ever surfed?
Have I? Fuck. Do I look like I surf? We had some of those little wave boards that the kids had, and years ago we went on holiday to Cornwall and just kind of tried them out on really small waves near the beach,
Right.
when the girls weren't looking, which was quite good fun. But no, I've never really had much of a desire to surf. I've got no fucking balance whatsoever. I think when we were kids and skateboards were de rigueur. I stood on a skateboard, fell off it, never fucking got onto another one, and then spent the rest of my life listening to music that was related to surfing, skating, and wearing clothes that were kind of, always liked the look of surfing, of skate gear. Always wore a lot of skate gear, but never went near a fucking, never went near a skateboard again.
Curious, yeah.
I know, it's ridiculous. But their music has, I mean, it's all, it's gone probably a bit more sci-fi in the later years.
I think it's more restrained as well. I don't think it has that visceral, ferocious edge that it used to have.
Yeah, I think that was the kind of punky side of it. I think it was very much unrestrained and just a wild fucking surf party, punk surf party. So, and the older they've got, it has kind of matured into more of a kind of a surfy sci-fi rock, less reliance on the samples and more on more on they're kind of getting better with their instruments and getting different influences in. But great band.
Stuff.
Absolutely love Mano Astra Man. Like I say, got a load of cool albums over there still. I've still got a fucking great pile of CDs of theirs as well, because I know there were a couple of CDs that were never released on vinyl, so I kept them. But yeah, always good for if you like surfing, hot rods, sci-fi, superheroes, Mano Astra Man are your band, and I really, really hope they do make it back over, because I would love to see them live, and I am really annoyed that I've never got around to seeing them. But it's pretty down. As we've said, I had no means of transport down to London to see gigs for a long while. So it was always tricky getting back. So never actually got to see them. But although I don't think they've been over here for about probably a good 15 years now. I think something ridiculous.
I've not seen them any advertising any gigs of late.
No. Like I say, that last one was the cancelled one. So, but yes, very, very, very good band, and I do love them very much.
Yep, I'd agree again. So we have an agreement. Strange how surf keeps popping up, because if somebody just said to me out of the blue, "What do you think of surf music?" I would say probably not a lot. But we've talked about a number of bands over the last few episodes that have a distinctive surf feel to them. It's quite,
and I mean, and in this episode, I mean, we've had lots of '60s influence in this, and the Ramones were inspired by some of the surf bands as well. It's
curious.
Yes, can't be a bit of surf.
Can't beat a bit. But the washing powder.
Yes, yeah, lovely. Whiter than white.
If you can't get any heroin, try some of that. See how you get on. That'll put you in a different frame of mind, I'm sure. Okay, my final one of this episode is, again, a band and a record. Again, a debut album, this time from 2021. It's a band and a record called Artifacts and Uranium. And in 2021, their debut album came out, and they've released four or five since then. Can't remember, 4 or 5. And this is sprawling psychedelic rock. They're on Ecadelic Records of Atlanta, Georgia. And they are another one of the many vehicles of a gentleman by the name of Mike Vest. I don't know if you've come across Mike Vest before, but he is one of the most prolific artists that you can imagine. And he paints a lot, as well as selling records or making records. And he's recorded under a multitude of different names because he plays with lots of different people. And some of these bands he's played with are really, really good. Others are just awesome. Miana Kanaru, Kaliyuga Express, Blow Now, Modoki, Neutralizer, Haiku Noku, Space Victim, Dodge Meteor. They're absolutely brilliant bands, but they tend to be
pretty high Scrabble scores, most of them as well, I think. So.
Yes. There's quite a lot of Japanese in there because he plays a lot with some of the high-profile noise rock Japanese artists.
Right.
People like Junzu Suzuki of Tight Up and Mitsuru Tabata of Boredoms, and Zenny Jiva he plays with a lot. And some of his finest work is with Junzo Suzuki and the power trio Miana Kanaru. They had 3 albums out: Blood Sun, Lost Bones of the Holy Butterfly, and Strato Arcology, that are awesome. Long tracks, noise rock instrumentals. But he's done loads. I mean, some of the stuff that he records as Lush Worker are just albums of guitar noise. There is no drums or anything. It's just guitar noise, which probably the more tedious of some of his records, but loads of it I do like. Junzo Suzuki fell from a train platform in Tokyo in 2022, and he suffered an intracerebral hemorrhage. And all of his including pals, Mike Vest and so on, they put together a 27-track, 4.5-hour album called We Love You Junzo, which is a great record in itself.
Awesome. Yeah.
Got Carlton Melton on it and Howie Reeve and all kinds of different people. But thankfully, he seems to be a lot better now. So Mike Vest describes himself, and he's been described in reviews as a maximum guitarist, which seems to be a thing. I've never really come across it before, but being a maximum guitarist is playing with guitars laden with effects, sometimes just creating massive feedback drones, and it can be awesome, particularly when it is in one of his power trios or when it's in bands like Artifacts and Uranium. This record, there are only 3 tracks on the album. The title track is only 7 minutes long.
Short and succinct.
But the other 2 tracks, my favourite track, The Birds Assembly, that's 14.5 minutes.
Great, we'll bung that fuck off then.
And then Tower at Midnight is just over 17 minutes. But it's it's really trancey, rock, noise, psychedelics, all instrumental, as I say. And there's bass, lead guitar, percussion, and there's some electric saz and gong on this as well. Laird, one of the other people in this band, is playing bouzouki and synth and pianos, and there's samples in there, and it's just a potent stew of sound and feeling. I guess it is druggy music, but I don't do drugs anymore, and I can still thoroughly enjoy it. That's because it's quite trippy. The Birds Assembly, my favourite track on there, is really hypnotic. It's not as ravaged by distortion as some of the other stuff, and it relies on kind of getting the percussion running a groove and then not interfering too much with that. It just carries on, and everything else just swirls around it. Samples and heavily Eastern influenced guitars, heavily layered, all manner of things going on. There's electronics in it as well. And Junzo Suzuki, one of the things that he's known for is what's called ghost guitar. And again, it's not something I'd really come across before. Not really come across these genres of guitar playing really before. So you got maximum guitar and ghost guitar, and ghost guitar is just putting on masses and masses of delay and reverb to create these huge washes of guitar sound, which are really gorgeous, really heavily flanging and trippy. Very nice indeed.
So you sport that by saying flanging, because I just think that word's really funny. So I'm just chuckling now.
You got a dirty mind. No, flanging is a modulation effect, a bit like phasing. You dirty-minded soul. Yeah, it's good. It's a nice sound indeed. A lot of bands in psychedelic music use it, and prog music uses it as well, because it gives just putting that modulation onto almost any instrument gives it a really trippy kind of druggy feel.
Yeah,
and sound.
Yeah,
it's
I think
nice.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what else much I can say about it. It is just great psychedelic long form rock music by some of the world's greatest exponents of the stuff from Japan and from this country. Because Mike Vest, I think, for all of the collaborations he does and everything with American bands and Japanese bands, I think it's from Newcastle. But he sells a lot of his stuff on Bandcamp, but he sells his paintings on Bandcamp as well. And they're really good, really kind of interesting paintings. I've never bought one, but they are interesting looking paintings.
I was just looking him up, Mike Vest. I actually accidentally put in Mike Pants.
Yeah, maybe not the coolest name, perhaps.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, Mike Vest Music got him.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, yeah. I'll have a look at that. Artifacts of Uranium. That's the one. Yeah. Yeah, I'll have a listen. I like the sound of it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's different. I've delved into bits of that kind of thing. Acid Mother's Temple. That's that.
Yes, they do. But Acid Mother's Temple, they tend to be. A lot of it's improvised, and you get whole albums which are quite quiet and repetitive electronic bits, and then other albums which are just full on blast noise rock. And like a lot of these bands, they're not a permanent fixed lineup of musicians. But I think they're fascinating.
I think they may well be playing in Cambridge tonight. Actually, I know they're playing anytime soon. Yeah, I think they're on the Portland Arms.
Right,
so I still haven't been to see them, but
no, I haven't seen those. They came to. I had tickets to see them in Nottingham a few years ago, and something got in the way, and I ended up not going. But I'm sure they put on a hell of a show. Madness.
Yes, I've heard. Excellent. Okay, well, that's us done on self-titled albums. You've been
that was a good one. Yeah, it was
nice
interesting.
and obscure. I've been very much classic rock and orientated. Yeah, so
I think it's brilliant.
I think that was a pretty good one actually.
So Dave,
yes,
what have you been listening to this week?
What have I been listening to this week? Well, I've been listening to an album called Bleakness album called Blurred Visions by Bleakness, who I saw. I went to a Sunday matinee punk show on Better Than It Sounds, believe me, because I was home for my tea at 7:30. I'd seen 4 awesome bands. We had a local Cambridge band called Mutiny, another more local band, even more local, St Ives band where I live, called the Safs, who've been knocking around for donkey's years and who are great. Both of those bands were fantastic. And then the main 2 bands were Bleakness from France and MIA, the old American hardcore band.
And
had a great time. Met a load of people who I hadn't seen. Bumped into Alan, who I've mentioned a couple of times, who runs Different Kitchen Records. But he made me promise not to mention him on the show again. Oh, fuck.
Why?
Because last time he was driving along, he heard his name and he crashed his car.
Oh, he literally crashed his car?
He nearly crashed his car.
Oh, I thought
lost control. He was so excited, or so was it excited? He was either excited or offended that we'd mentioned him.
Horrified.
But yes. So sorry about that, Alan. I won't mention. Oh, I did it again. Fucking hell. I even mentioned Different Kitchen Records, which is his. Oh, should I have done that? Should I have advertised it? What else have I been listening to? I've been listening to the first Placebo LP. Had that on
Okay.
today because that was one I was thinking of including.
That's eponymous, yeah.
Yes, but didn't. I've listened to the latest Dropkick Murphys LP, which is called
Okay.
New England Forever, which is very good. And then I had my I went down a bit of a ambient wormhole this week with Instagram posts, and I've been playing A Quiet Day by the Balloonist, who is Ben Holton, who runs Wayside and Woodland Records, who are brilliant, great Bandcamp page, lots of really cool ambient-y music on there. And Whole Numbers Play the Basics by Casino versus Japan, which was a ambient LP that came out in the early 2000s, and I just fell in love with it then. I still love it now. Play a lot actually. So there's
a whole raft on there
yes.
that I don't know. Okay, well, for my part, I've been mainly listening to an album called "The Problem Is in the Sender, Do Not Tamper with the Receiver" by Hypnodrone Ensemble. From 2024,
and kind of take a wild guess what they sound like.
It's not Hypnodrome, it's Hypnodrone.
Yeah,
but they're
exactly.
not. But they're not drones.
Bit of a misnomer then. I can feel an email coming along. Dear Hypnodrome Ensemble, I'm disgusted I checked out this record. There was no drones whatsoever.
No drones, but they are long form rock
Are they definitely an ensemble?
I would think they are an ensemble, yes.
Make up a little bit.
Okay, yeah, for 2024.
Excellent.
I've also been listening to another eponymous record, the first record by Ultravox. Called.
Yes, very good.
John Fox, good one, 1977.
I nearly picked eponymous by REM because I thought that would be really, really funny. And I forgot.
Yeah, it would have been.
I forgot about it, and it
right.
just reminded me. So yes.
Never mind. Okay, another one I've been listening to is a compilation album called In-Flight Entertainment. And it's a compilation of lounge and jazz and easy listening with people like Bridget Bardot and the Burt Kampfert Orchestra.
That sounds familiar.
It's got Big Train on there by Max Greger and his orchestra, for example.
Is it a CD or an LP?
I've got a CD. Whether it was an LP or not, I don't know, but I've got a CD.
I think I might have that somewhere. That sounds really familiar.
It's really good. It just makes me smile.
What was it called?
It's just a cheesy in-flight entertainment.
I'll have to go and have a look for that. I'm sure I've got that. Yeah, sorry.
It's really cheesy.
Yeah.
It's good. It kind of reminds you of incidental music.
Yeah, I love all that.
Bless
kind
This
of bollocks.
House and Sound of the Century and stuff.
Yeah.
Great. Then after that, City Baby Attacked by Rats by GBH has been
City Baby, attacked by rats.
That's been getting a spin again,
Excellent.
which is always never far from the turntable. And then Eric Satie, Nocien and Gymnopedes, etc., which is beautifully rendered on a 2000 album by Reinbert Delure, which is
I love
brilliant.
The old Gymnopedes.
Gymnopedes, yes. Well, Nocien, I prefer Nocien, but it's all good.
I like Trois Gymnopedes. That's the one.
That's the famous one.
Yes.
That would be his most big hit one. Yes. Yeah. Anyway, so there you go. They're the ones I've been listening to.
There you go. Well, as usual, I say hello to greatest playlist ever. DJ
Hello.
Substance, Brooklyn Pete, Robin the Girl Wonder, and they caught me out this week, right? So they did their voting. They do a vote, don't they? And you have to pick a record. And they put on a Stone Roses song and actually mentioned us. Because we've spoken about the Stone Roses, I thought, well, I'll go and vote, and I went on to Stone, and then fucking hell, they've put Wichita Lineman on there, haven't they?
Oh no!
Yeah, so it's like fucking hell.
Now what?
All my street cred's gone. I can't vote for the Stone Roses. I had to vote for fucking Wichita Lineman, didn't I? God's sake!
I would have voted for that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Everyone's got to vote for
awesome.
Yeah. It was yes. So yes.
What do you mean all your street cred's gone? I've known you for 40 plus years. I don't remember having any street cred.
I know. It's just yeah. So Wichita Lineman for me. I am a lineman for the county. What a fucking song.
What a song.
So yes. So yes. If once you've listened to this, if you want to go and listen to something else, I'd thoroughly recommend the greatest playlist ever. Because they are great,
cool,
and they've got cool American accents as well. You know, we're all like, oh, and all that kind of thing, And they're like, "Hi, welcome to the greatest playlist ever, and with DJ Substance, Brooklyn Pete, and Robin the Girl Wonder." And it's
Did
like,
they actually? Has that stuck? Robin the Girl Wonder now then.
I'm going on about it because then we can take credit for it.
Well, you can. I think you came
yeah.
up with it.
Yeah. So I think the more she'll probably feel sorry for us and think, "Oh, fuck it, I will definitely officially be, they can do a little ceremony when they tap both sides of her shoulder, both shoulders with the sword, and say, 'I dub thee Robin the Girl Wonder,' or however. I don't know if Brooklyn Pete and DJ Substance did that. They probably just went, 'What's your call yourselves?' 'Oh, DJ Substance, Brooklyn Pete.' 'Yeah, all right, fuck it, let's go to the pub or the bar. Let's go to the bar." So
we never really maximised on DJ Crabstick. No, it was MC Crabstick and DJ Shit Pump.
No, we should have definitely got tattoos.
Oh, I don't know. Oh God, that's something to think about.
Yeah. Oh my God, I'm picturing a shit pump now. It's one of those ones that you get the handle, you push up and down, and shit comes out.
I never thought, what is actually a shit pump?
Oh God, there's something really wrong with my fucking brain. I'm picturing fucking shit pumps, and then water pumps just with. Oh dear, I won't go into too much.
No.
Oh,
okay,
anyway.
Cool.
So we'll be back in probably 10 days with episode 33, which at the moment is likely to be songs with boys' names, closely followed by songs with girls' names. Is that going to be tricky now because of? Oh, fuck it, I'm not even going to go there.
Don't start that conversation. No, let's keep it reasonably conventional.
Yeah, so that will be probably in about 10 days, I would imagine. Yes, I've got one. We've got one to go up in a couple of days. Not that will matter to anybody because 25th of April, the next one should go on, as long as I don't forget again. Which I've done twice now. God, oh fuck! I'm supposed to do that. So I will start compiling playlists tomorrow, and we can get it all done. So I think all that remains for us is to say au revoir and sorry,
next time.
Just illustrating my command of the French language again there. Au revoir.
Oh, well, that was it.
Au revoir, mon chéri.
Oh, goodness me. I don't know what to say.
We'll see you all in 10 days.
Yes. Bye-bye.
Bye.